When you face tough situations, the first thing you must understand is that difficulty is not a sign that you should quit, but a signal that you are on the right path to growth. Life is designed in such a way that if you want to achieve something meaningful, you will be tested again and again. Tough times are not punishments. They are opportunities to see what you are really made of. When I was rejected so many times, whether from jobs, universities, or investors, I learned that strength is not about pretending everything is easy. It is about standing up when everything around you says sit down. Most people think success means a smooth journey. But in reality, success means being able to keep going even when the road is full of challenges. When you are in a tough situation, you should not ask, why me? But instead, what is this trying to teach me? Because inside every challenge, there is a lesson that prepares you for the future. I remember when I started Alibaba, it was during a time when no one believed in the idea of the internet in China. I had no money, no technology, and no powerful connections. People laughed at me. They said I was crazy. The tough situation was not just about lacking resources. It was about fighting against the disbelief of almost everyone around me. But I stayed strong by reminding myself that every big idea begins as something small and misunderstood. When you stay strong in tough situations, you develop inner courage. Courage is not about having no fear. It is about moving forward despite fear. Everyone feels fear when they are facing uncertainty, but strength comes from not letting fear control your actions. One way to stay strong is to accept failure as part of the process. Most people think failure is the opposite of success, but in reality, failure is a part of success. Without failing, you cannot grow, you cannot understand, you cannot build resilience. Every time I was rejected, I treated it as practice. Each failure made me more prepared, more determined, and more creative. If you see failure as a teacher, you will never be afraid of it. Tough situations will not scare you anymore because you know that they are shaping you into the kind of person who can handle bigger responsibilities. The truth is, the people who become strong leaders are not the ones who avoided challenges, but the ones who faced them, endured them, and came out wiser. Another way I stayed strong in tough times was by focusing on the future, not the present pain. When you are in a difficult moment, it is easy to get trapped in frustration, anger, or hopelessness. But if you only look at the pain, you will give up. I trained myself to look at the vision, the bigger picture, the reason why I started in the first place. The pain of today is temporary, but the rewards of persistence last forever. I kept telling myself that every tough day was bringing me closer to the dream. If you have a strong why, you can survive any how. This is why purpose is so important. Without purpose, the smallest challenge can break you. With purpose, even the hardest storm cannot stop you. And finally, staying strong in tough situations requires patience. Many people fail not because they are not capable, but because they are not patient enough. They want success to come quickly. And when it doesn't, they give up. But the reality is that great things take time. Just like planting a seed, you must water it, protect it, and wait for it to grow. The seed does not become a tree overnight. In the same way, your efforts will not bring results immediately. Patience gives you the ability to wait without losing hope. It gives you the strength to keep working even when results are not visible. Tough situations test your patience more than anything else. And if you pass that test, you will discover a strength inside you that you never knew you had. Another important way to stay strong in tough situations is to adapt quickly instead of holding on to old ways that no longer work. Many people collapse under pressure because they are rigid. They want the world to adjust to them instead of adjusting themselves to the world. But the reality is, life is constantly changing, and every tough situation is also a signal that it's time to evolve. When I first started, I didn't know anything about technology. I couldn't even write a single line of code. But I understood that if I wanted to survive in a digital future, I had to learn, and more importantly, I had to surround myself with people who were smarter than me in areas where I was weak. That decision alone made me stronger in the middle of challenges because I was never too proud to admit what I didn't know and never too slow to learn what I needed. Staying strong does not mean resisting change. It means embracing it. If you look at companies or people who fail, you'll notice a pattern. They refuse to adjust. They keep repeating the same method, even when it's no longer effective. But the ones who stay strong are the ones who experiment, who are willing to try something different when the old way fails. That is why in tough times, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" I always asked, "What can I change to make this work?" This mindset transforms every setback into a chance to grow. Think about water. Water is soft. It bends, it flows, it adjusts to whatever shape you put it in. But that softness is its strength. It can wear down the hardest stone over time. In the same way, if you remain flexible, tough situations cannot break you. They may slow you down, but they will never stop you. Strength is not about being unbreakable, it's about being adaptable. If one path is blocked, you find another. If one door is closed, you knock on the next. Tough situations test not only your endurance, but your creativity. Another way to stay strong is by shifting your focus from the problem to the solution. Many people spend all their energy complaining about what went wrong, and in the process, they drain themselves of the power to move forward. Complaining never solves problems. It only makes them look bigger. But when you discipline your mind to focus on solutions, you discover ideas and opportunities that others miss. During the early days of Alibaba, we faced countless problems: no money, no trust from investors, no advanced technology. If we had spent all our time complaining, we would have collapsed in the first year. Instead, we trained ourselves to always ask, what can we do with the little we have? That mindset gave us resilience in tough times. And there's another key. Never isolate yourself when you are in a tough situation. Tough times can make you feel like shutting down, keeping everything to yourself, but isolation makes the burden heavier. I always stayed strong by leaning on my team, by sharing both the problems and the vision. When you work together, even the heaviest load feels lighter. Strength in tough situations is not only about your personal courage, but also about your ability to inspire and draw strength from others. Staying strong in tough situations also requires mastering your mindset, because the biggest battles are not outside, they are inside your head. When challenges come, most people lose not because the problem is too big, but because their thoughts make them feel too small. The voice of doubt whispers, "You can't do this." And if you believe it, you give up before you even try. I have faced many moments where doubt was louder than hope. Investors rejected me, people laughed at me, even my closest friends sometimes questioned my ideas. But I trained myself to control my thoughts, to replace fear with belief, to remind myself that failure is not permanent. Strength in tough situations begins with what you say to yourself when no one is watching. If your mind collapses, everything else will collapse. One way I protected my mindset was by focusing on what I could control and not wasting energy on what I could not. When I applied to dozens of jobs and got rejected, I couldn't control the decisions of companies. But I could control how I responded. I could choose to apply again, to learn new skills, to think of new opportunities. Too many people give their power away by focusing on the unfairness of life. Life will never be fair, but life will reward those who keep going despite the unfairness.